As Catholicism became normalized within Irish life outside Ulster, there was little reason to fiction to defend or protect it. Ulster, Kuzey İrlanda'ya verilen bir isim. Those who did tended to be priests who had worked outside Ireland for a time and who had a sense of the fragility of Catholicism in the modern world. Among them were R. B. O'Brien, an advocate of the ultramontanism of Pope Pius, and Joseph Guinan, who valorized the emotional bond between priest and people in Irish Catholic culture as a defense against attack. Canon Sheehan, the best known of such novelists, also valued that bond but suspected its capacity to withstand the assault of modernity. The heroes of his fiction, many of them priests, thus find themselves torn between the bond and middle-class intellectualism, though the strategy of embarrassing intellectualism in order to defend the faith often turns into an alluring obstacle to it. In Jeffrey Austin's Student, the eponymous hero moves away from his faith while his friend Charlie Travers comes to see the need for zealous Catholic laymen in Ireland, because the country is not living up to its great vocation as the Catholic nation of the West. Charlie is also a nationalist, though of a particular religious kind, identifying British values as a threat to Ireland and advocating a cultural quarantining of Ireland from Britain, which outside fiction was to become typical in Ireland for the first half of the 20th century. The Triumph of Failure is a sequel. Here Geoffrey immerses himself in philosophy and gets a reputation for being a free thinker before his conversion back to Catholicism, while Charlie burns all his non-religious books and becomes a lay missionary inveighing against the paganism of modern civilization before his own premature death. Central to his mission is an attempt to distinguish between a true and false intellectualism. What shall it be when the intelligence of Ireland, emancipated from the shackles of a false education, shall go forth to steer the world with the watchword? Christ and Rome. In spite of such enthusiasm for a militant Catholicism, however, the novel ends on a pessimistic note about whether Ireland can live up to such a vision. What made Sheehan's subsequent and largely unwarranted popular reputation for bland affability was his semi-humorous minute curate, in which the contentment and wisdom of the priest narrator is contrasted with the zeal and inexperience of his reforming curate. Most of the latter's initiatives end in disaster, including a fishing vessel designed to boost the local economy but which sinks. The curate ultimately learns the lesson from a paralyzed local woman that true sanctity is to be found in a certain type of passivity, and that, as with Charlie Travers, defeat and even death are not inimical to a true Christian victory. Sheehan returned to intellectualism and its perils in Luke Damage. Its priest hero begins his career with the assertive certainties of his seminary education. He is sent to work in England, where he is overawed by social refinement of the friends he makes there, and comes to believe that faith and intellect can easily be reconciled. However, his social pretensions and intellectual pride lead to a disaster when one of his friends goes to found a new religion called eclectic Catholicism, under what he claims is Luke's influence. In order to be saved, he has to purge himself of his Anglicization, abandon intellectualism, and return to the simplicities of life and faith in Catholic Ireland. There, he looks forward to the creation of a new civilization founded on Spartan simplicity of life and Christian elevation of morals and the uplifting to the higher life, to which all the aspirations of his race tended. The blindness of Dr. Gray also acknowledges that intellectualism may be more of an instrument of modernity than a weapon against it. In Sheehan's last novel, The Graves of Kilmorna, Ireland is seen to be a place more of selfishness than idealism. Sheehan's fiction thus ends on a pessimistic note, disappointed by the inability both of intellectualism and of Irish Catholic culture to resist the corrupting effects of modernity.